Hello there guys, it's Michael here, and in this video I'm going to give away one of my best secrets to making rapid progress on the guitar. This video is for anyone that struggles to learn how to play guitar, who constantly has to go back and revise things and relearn them over and over and over again, or anybody who's unsatisfied with the progress that they're making on their guitar despite putting in hours and hours in the practice room over consecutive days, weeks, months, or years. Now I'm sure you know somebody who practices guitar way less than you, but somehow they've managed to become a better guitar player. There used to be this kid in my high school music class who barely showed up to class. We'd never ever see him practicing, but he would get better and better and better, and he was a great player. And I was always envious in a way. Not that guitar's a competition, but I was doing hours and hours in practice, and he seemed to improve out of sight well beyond what I could do. It wasn't until years later that I came to the realization that I was going about the learning process entirely wrong, and that there were so many inefficiencies in the way that I used my practice time. As soon as I learned this and figured out what was holding me back, that's when things started to change, and that's when I started to get really good at guitar. What you need to come to realize is that there's a difference between learning and practicing. They are two different things. Learning is where we learn new information for the first time, whereas practicing is where we invest time into improving something that we already know. Most guitar players get stuck in the eternal phase of learning new things all the time without ever investing any practice time into actually improving what they've already learned, at least not long enough for it to come out in their playing. And this is what leads to frustration, as we guitar players are always searching for that one little thing that's going to connect all the dots, when in actual fact all we're doing is adding more dots which we need to connect and not practicing any of the bridges that we need to connect them. Let me drive the point home with a comparison of two guitar players who each have 10 minutes to practice every single day. Guitar player 1 spends 2 minutes learning what he needs to work on, and then the rest of the time, the other 8 minutes, practicing. Guitar player number 2 spends 8 minutes learning what he needs to work on and only has 2 minutes at the end left over to try and improve it. Now, which of these guitar players do you think is going to be better after 10 minutes? If you answered with guitar player 1, then you are correct. Guitar player 1 spent 2 minutes learning, so he's very smart and efficient about it, and then spent the other 8 minutes improving what he'd just learned. Guitar player 2 wasted all of his time trying to learn it inefficiently and only had 2 minutes to improve it. Guitar player 1 made 4 times the amount of progress as guitar player 2, and as you can imagine, is going to be much happier with the outcome of his practice and make much more considerable gains in the amount of time invested. Guitar player 1 is highly motivated because every time he picks up his guitar to practice, he instantly recalls what he learned previously and can get to work on improving it. He can see the results from practice session to practice session, and he feels good about the progress that he's making. Guitar player 2, on the other hand, is very frustrated by comparison. He spends all of his time learning, he doesn't remember everything, he has to keep on going back and relearning what he's forgotten, and he doesn't feel like he's making any progress. So he's very unhappy about his whole situation of playing guitar, and he's much more likely to give up and go, wow, it's just too hard for me, I'm just not cut out for this. So what's the difference between these two guitar players? What's the secret to making rapid progress on guitar? Well, the answer's simple. Learn more efficiently. If you can learn something once, learn it properly, and have it stick in your long-term memory forever, then every single practice session can be spent improving what you already know, or learning something relatively quickly and efficiently, and then getting straight back into reinvesting the time you've saved learning into improving what you're trying to do. The less time you spend learning things and the more time you spend improving what you've already learned, the more rapidly you'll progress. This is the secret to getting good at guitar very quickly and making great progress. So I've done enough talking. Go and grab your guitar so I can show you an exercise to put this efficient learning concept into practice. So now that you grab your guitar, I'm going to show you how you can learn a scale in less than 1 minute using this optimized form of learning, or brain hacks as I call them. So guys, repeat after me. 0, 2, 3, 5. Say it aloud. 0, 2, 3, 5. Repeat it again out loud. 0, 2, 3, 5. One more time, say it out loud. So now that you've said it 3 times, you are going to play it 3 times on string number 1. 0, 2, 3, and 5. Pause this video and do that 2 more times. Now repeat these numbers after me and say them out loud. 7, 8, 10, 12. And again, 7, 8, 10, 12. One more time, 7, 8, 10, 12. Now we're going to go to fret number 7 on the first string and play 7, 8, 10, and 12. Pause this video if you need to and play that up to 3 times correctly. Now what we're going to do is put all 8 numbers together. So repeat after me. 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. Repeat that out loud and say it again. Now close your eyes and say it for me one more time. 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. So if you can say it, you can play it, and play 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 12 on string number 1. Pause this video and go and play that 3 times. Now, if you took the time to pause this video and work your way through the scale, congratulations, because you just learned how to play the natural minor scale, specifically the E natural minor scale, because we started on the E note on string number 1. So all up, that process probably took you less than a minute to do. And it just shows you how easy it is to learn scales and anything on guitar for that matter when we go about learning things correctly. Our brain is the smartest computer in the entire world and it's capable of wonderful things. We just need to learn how to use it properly. Now, the process we used was something called chunking, where we take large amounts of information, we break them down into smaller chunks. Your mobile phone number is an example of this. You don't read out all the characters in one go, you probably break it into 2 or 3 smaller chunks. When we break things down into smaller chunks, we can learn the chunks very, very quickly, and once we know them, we put them back together into the entire whole. This allows us to learn things and play things at a much faster rate, and every minute we save learning, we can reinvest back into practice. That's the key to success and the key to rapid progress on guitar. Now, it might seem cheesy saying things out loud, but every time you say something out loud, it establishes another neural connection in your brain, which leads to it retaining in long-term memory much more quickly. So even though it might make you feel kind of silly saying these numbers out loud, at the end of the day, it's going to make you a much better guitar player much quicker, so it's worth doing. So if you can use this approach whenever you're learning and practicing things on guitar, you will improve at a minimum 4 times as much as the average guitar player, simply by learning things in a more intelligent way and by using your practice time more efficiently. Remember, there's a difference between learning and practicing. If you can differentiate between the two, have a system and a process for learning things quickly and efficiently, and have a really good use of your practice time where you never waste a minute and everything is allocated to actually improving what you already know, you will improve out of sight in the shortest amount of time possible. It will be amazing at how quickly you improve on guitar. So guys, if you found this helpful, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons so you never miss any of the cool new videos and learning hacks we've got coming out. And lastly, I have created a free beginner guitar course, which you can access at the link below. So there's awesome resources available totally free, which are gonna make you a much better guitar player using lots of the hacks that I teach in this video and with all my beginner guitar students at Melbourne Guitar Academy. If you want to improve your playing, check out